Thank you for joining us. My name is Grant Coppersmith. I'm joined by Erik Condia. And thank you for joining us at Greendale High School to watch the Greendale Panthers take on the New Berlin Eisenhower Lions. The New Berlin Eisenhower Lions are second in state, all state. First in the conference at 10-1. Overall is 16-1. Greendale Panthers are at 12-4, and unfortunately, 3 of those losses coming in conference, and them having an 8-3 conference record. We just had tip going to Eisenhower. Passes the ball to number 34. 34, Will Pachinski. Passes up to the top. Down to the bottom. Number 22, Matthew Thielen. And basket is good by Will Pachinski, putting up 2 points. Greendale now has the ball by David Pulizu. Back to 0-0 up at the top, Clay Kojawa. To number 4, Nate Thompson at the top. Circling at the top of the key, passing it off to Clay Kojawa. Back to David. Thompson with the ball. Back down to Pulizo. Up to Harrison. With the shot is Pulizo. Paluzos with the 3. 3-2 the score in favor of the Panthers. Back at it now, New Berlin. Kulju at the top. Passes it off with the foul. No shot. Foul on Clay Kujawa, number 00.
And it seems like they're going down low every single time on each possession so far.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They're trying to work in that inside pass. Now doing that on the inside, going in is is Sullivan Kujo. Now back up at the top, working on his way in is number 20, Jordan Kennedy, and taken back by Greendale. So a really great defensive start for Greendale. At the top, Thompson. Thompson passing it off to Kujawa. Down to Harrison. Up at a 4, Thompson. Now up to the top to Pulizos. And up and in is Kujawa. The score is now 5-2 in favor of the Panthers. New Berlin coming down, and with the 3-point, no good. That missed attempt was by Jordan Kennedy. Now Greendale with the ball, passing it in. Working inside is Nate Thompson. Back out to the outside of the key. Pushing in, and nice hook by Pulizos. Score is now 7-2 in favor of the Panthers. From the top of the key to the outside, that's number 34, Will Pajinski. Has a lone basket in this game. Now it's working back up to the top. Looking inside, trying to find Sullivan Kulaju. Back out to the top, back to Kulaju. Back to Kerniger. Up at the top, works his way in, pick and roll, takes a jump shot, and it's good for 2. Kerniger finds his first basket of the game. New Berlin Eisenhower's going to look to get him going. He is their top average goal scorer so far this season. A missed 3-point put back in by Greendale by number 0, Clay Kujawa. He now has 4. Up at the top, pumps the 3-point. That is Kulaju. Back up to Kulaju. Takes a 3. And missed it. Some physicality. That is a charging foul on number 11, Jack Sierick. Turnover. Greendale ball.
Nathan Thompson just stood his ground right there and took that hit.
Yeah, that was a really good job by him. He planted his feet, forced a charge, and so far, a really dominating performance by Greendale. And really needing this win to stay caught up with with the Lions being 2 games behind. So this would be a huge win, a nice build for their confidence. Greendale now coming up with the ball at the top of the key. Kujawa being challenged. Left wide open. Missed 3-point attempt, though, by Pulizos. Looks to be a foul, however.
Yeah, that was a long shot, long rebound situation. And New Berlin gets caught underneath the basket, not boxing out.
And that was number 11, Jack Sirik, with the foul. Quick inbound pants, and up and in is good for David Pulizos. Score is 11 for Greendale. Quick 3-point attempt, and that is missed by Kerniger. And made 2-point basket by Eisenhower. Greendale now with the ball. Stolen. Collected by Eisenhower, and in and good for number 11, Jack Sirik. Looks to be a court malfunction. A top for the volleyball post cover came off. So pause and play, inbound pass, possession going to be Greendale.
Yeah, New Berlin's picked up their defense the last 2 possessions, definitely holding out on the top of the key with their defensive pressure there, Grant.
Yeah, definitely. Height is balancing so far, even though Greendale being the taller team, Eisenhower is standing very strong in the post. Now number 42, that is Pulizos, at the top, passes it over to Thompson. Thompson holding it. Over to Zernick. Zernick bouncing out. Over to Pulizos. Pulizos off the backboard, driving in. It looks like there is a foul on the play. Will Paczynski with the foul. Greendale leading 11-8 now. Eisenhower building a little bit of a momentum now. Flato Zernick shooting. First free throw is good. 12-8 now in favor of Greendale.
Now with some of their height going out with that substitution, I believe it was 34. Will Paczynski just went out for Eisenhower. We'll see what Greendale does and if they keep attacking the paint, which they should do.
And that second free throw attempt by Zernick was good. Now Eisenhower with the ball. Up and bouncing his way in. Number 22, Sullivan Kulaju. Stolen and then stolen back by Greendale, then batted out of bounds by Sullivan Kulaju.
Thompson looks flustered on that play. He's getting eaten alive right now.
Yeah, he was having a hard time bringing that over the half-court line, and then he was just Eisenhower defenders were all over him. Now Greendale with the inbounds pass. 13-10 Panthers. Inbound pass to Thompson. Thompson passing off to Pulizos. Pulizos with the two-pointer. It's now 15-10 Panthers. Eisenhower up at the top of the key. Jordan Kennedy. Kulaju in with the 2-point, driving it in. Seeing some nice post play now from Eisenhower. Greendale ball batted out of bounds. Batted out by Jordan Kennedy. And timeout on the floor. So we are going to take one as well. Panthers 15, Lions 12. That's fine. Greendale inbounds pass to David Pulizos. Back to Nate Thompson. Three-point attempt is good. Panthers now up 18-12 with 10:50 remaining in the half. Lions with the ball. Passes over to Sam Hluchnik. Inbounds pass. Foul and one going to Sullivan Kulju.
Yeah, Sullivan Kulju is definitely on his game right now. He's bringing towards the basket every single chance he gets, and his defender is just not covering him there. That's what leads to his free throw attempts right now.
Yeah, Kulju definitely having a nice game so far. He has 6 points looking to add right here with his free throw attempt. And that is no good. Rebound, however, going to Eisenhower. That is great post play. Top of the key now, Bryce Miller. Over, three-point attempt. A shot did not go off. Passed it instead to number 22, Sullivan Kulju. Now has 8 points on the night. Time is 10:03, 17-16 Panthers. At the top of the key, Nate Thompson passes over to Pulizos. Kujoa passes back to Kulizos with the three and off the rim, hits the board and out. Eisenhower now charging back down. Over to number 13. That is Bryce Miller. Passes it back out on top. Eisenhower deep thread into the key. Nice layup and in. That is number 23, Matthew Relfson.
That was a good hustle back on defense by New Berlin right there. Greendale had another chance to get another quick bucket on the other end. They're running the floor really well, but New Berlin just stuck their nose in and dug in hard and got a nice stop.
A great defensive play by Eisenhower. Now Greendale back on the attack. Open three-point attempt and good. That is Nate Thompson with his first points of the game. Eisenhower now charging back. 2018 Greendale. 9:03 left to go in the half. Foul called. I believe that might be on number... Excuse me, that's going to be on Nate Thompson. That is his first foul. Inbounds. Blocked by number 22, Matthew Thalen. Charging back now is Greendale. Pulizos with the shot is fouled. Bucket does not go in. He will be heading to the line.
Foul's called on number 10, Sam Lucknick. His first.
Foul is on Sam Lucknick. His first foul. Shot attempt is up, no good.
Checking in for the Lions, number 11, Jeff Sirik, number 20, Jordan Candy.
Pulizos up, and second free throw attempt is good. Score is now 21-18 Panthers. 8:40 is the time. Travel is called on number 22, Sullivan Kulju.
Yeah, Greendale just caught a lucky break right there. He was wide open, just took too many steps.
So lucky break for Greendale. They'll inbound this ball. It is Nate Thompson. Now full court press put on by Eisenhower. Thompson fights it off. Way outside near midcourt. Wide open. is number 22, Matthew Phelan. Passes it inside, now back out to Pulizos. Nice move, and to the bucket. Easy bucket by Clay Kujawa. Score is now 23-18 Panthers. Eisenhower comes in. Nice drive to the bucket. And that is number 20, Jordan Kennedy, finally getting on the board for the Lions. Nice stolen ball. Nice defense by Eisenhower as they come back down the court. Nice layup. Missed it. Looks like there was a goaltending on the Lions on their own shot.
Yeah, the ball was definitely about to head into the bucket right there. There's no way that's not goaltending.
Yeah, the ball was bouncing around the rim, and the Lions were trying to get a little insurance to go in, but it was still not past the rim, so goaltending was the call. Greendale now. Thompson, top of the key. Passes it down to Phelan. Phelan with a three-point shot, and it is good. Phelan getting on the board. Score is now 26-20 in favor of the Panthers. Matthew Rolston, top of the key. Looks like
Foul's called on number 22, Matt Phelan of the Panthers. That's his first.
Matthew Phelan with the foul. We could not see him, so I'm not sure what happened. Quick inbounds pass, and one. Fouled on the shot was Jordan Kennedy, so he will head to the line to shoot one on attempt on the three-point play. So as we mentioned right before the game started, New Berlin Eisenhower has a record of 16-1, and unfortunately losing their first game last night to Brown Deer in triple overtime. But not doing too bad as they were in the power rankings. The second place team in all of Wisconsin, only behind Stevens Point, who's boasts a 17-0 record. Now Kennedy making that free throw attempt brings the score to 26-3 with 7:16 left in the half. Panthers up by 3. Clay Kujawa at the top. Passes it over to Zernick. Zernick to Kujawa. Kujawa in the key. Easy bucket left wide open. The breakdown in Eisenhower defense. Eisenhower now back on the attack. At the top of the key is Polznik. Now tries an inbound pass, is tipped, and now Clay Kujawa coming up the court, passes it off to Phelan. Phelan past half court now at the top of the key. Looking for options. Eisenhower playing some tough man-on-man right now. Looks like they switch, they switch to zone now, mid-play. Left wide open in the three-point was number 4, Nate Thompson, but his shot attempt was no good. Rebounded by Eisenhower, and Eisenhower puts it in. That is number 20, Jordan Kennedy. Kennedy definitely turning it up in the last couple minutes. Now Greendale with the ball. Driving in, getting his own rebound is Vlado Zernick. Shot attempt was no good. It goes out of bounds, and it's Eisenhower's ball. Score 28-25 Greendale with 5:58 left to go in the half.
Yeah, Grant, you definitely see New Berlin and why they're 17-1 right now.
16-1.
Excuse me, 16-1. Thank you for fixing that for me. They're taking it strong to the hole every single time. They don't have fear, even though Greendale has the taller lineup.
Yeah, you can definitely see the talent and skill on Eisenhower right now as we see Eisenhower attacking and having some nice ball movement and offensive work. Now at the top of the key is Kennedy. Kennedy passes in the key to Sullivan Kulju, but it looks like a charging is called.
It's actually, Grant, I think they actually called travel.
Travel, excuse me. Didn't really look like it was a charging, so I was a little confused why the whistle was blown. All right, coming down the court is number 42, Palizos. Foul called on the play.
And I think that's a technical on Kennedy.
They're giving a technical, wow. Yeah, it is. Yep. Or maybe.
Foul's called on number 20, Jordan Kennedy. That is his first, team's fifth. Technical foul call on Kennedy.
Yes, that is a technical foul on Jordan Kennedy. Now to shoot the buckets is Nate Thompson. Misses the first free throw attempt. Up for the second. And he does not miss the second one. The score is now 29-25, 5:24 in favor of the Panthers. Aaron Boston is now checked in for the Panthers. Greendale starting off the ball, top of the key, over to Polizos. Now Zernick with the ball. Passing it around the horn. Back up to Polizos with the shot. Three-point shot is no good. Rebound Greendale. Now back up the top. Thompson takes a three-point shot. That is no good. And Eisenhower gets the rebound. That rebound goes to Sam Holchnick. Holchnick with the ball at the top of the key. Passes it over to Kulju. Down underneath the basket, nowhere to go. Great defense by the Panthers. Now at the free throw line. Shot is good by number 22, Sullivan Kulju. He now has 10 points on the night. Greendale with the ball. Zernick at the top. Trying to dance his way around, getting nowhere. Great intercepted pass by Eisenhower. Now three-point attempt is no good. And there is a foul. That three-point attempt was by Kraninger. Looks out of bounds. That's a foul called on Michael Howell. His first foul of the game.
Yeah, you can see right there, New Berlin again. Bryce Miller, I believe it was, going and crashing the glass on that three-point attempt. They just keep going to the glass every single time.
Yeah, but he did get stuck underneath the rim in the middle of that play. So Greendale is definitely showing its height and able to combat that aggressiveness by Eisenhower. Foul on the play right off the inbound. That is on number 2, Aaron Boston, right after checking into the game. Now to the line for 2. That is good. Stephen Kraninger with the free throw attempt. Ready to shoot the second. And that is also good. Score is now 29-29, 3:58 left in the half. Eisenhower showing full court press. Greendale fighting it off, coming over the half court. Triple coverage, but not able to find the open shot, even though there was multiple men left wide open. So a little break there for Eisenhower. Stolen pass, and that is complete. Now a fast break, wide open. Oh, but nice hustle by David Polizos. And they're seeing who is out on, but Polizos had great hustle to come all the way from one end of the court to the other to block the shot. However, possession is going to stay with Eisenhower.
Yeah, that was definitely great hustle by Polizos, Grant. He gets all the way back down the floor on the fast break, and he was all the way underneath their own offensive basket.
And able to get all the way back on his defensive basket. Eisenhower now at the top of the key. Running a play. Nobody's open. Finds Matthew Rolfson. Now with the shot is Bryce Miller. And rebound goes out of bounds. Greendale ball. Eisenhower showing full court press. Polizzo cut down the court. Nice little stutter move there. Polizzo's wide open three-point attempt. Not covered, and that is good. Polizzo's now with 15 points on the game, showing a monster half. 32-29 Panthers. That is a nice little travel by number 22, Sullivan Kulju. He did a little jump move, but forgot to dribble. So a travel, Greendale's ball. 2:46 left in the half.
New Berlin's putting on the full court pressure here.
Yeah, Nate Thompson having to do some nice little footwork to get out of his own half court. Plezo. Thompson looking for Polizos. Now down and back up to top to Thompson. Misses the three-point attempt. Rebound Eisenhower, but some running into one another. It's happening out there. New Berlin runs down quick, then slows it up. It's over to Luchnik. Up at the top, calling out a play. Over to Rolfson. Rolfson still with it. Over to Holchnik. Holchnik is at the top. Passes over to Kennedy. And now down and in is Stefan Kraniger. He was looking for the foul, didn't get one. 32-31 Panthers, 1:43 left to go in the half. Over to Polizos. And whistle on the play. Looks like there was a foul.
Yeah, New Berlin definitely struggling to keep Clayton Kujwa from being on that block. He's definitely set up a tent for himself down there.
Yeah, most definitely. Now we have Clay Kujwa with the free throws. First one is good. And as you were saying, Greendale's been able to set up in the post all game, using that height to their advantage. Now Kujwa with the second free throw. It is good. 34-31 Panthers. And nice little steal there. And that is Vlado Zernik now coming down the court for Greendale. Back to Kujwa. At the top of the key is Greendale to Blizos. Zernik with a three-point attempt. Nice arc, but is no good. And went overneath the basket, the referees say, over the top of the backboard, excuse me. So it is Eisenhower ball with 1:10 left to go in the half.
Yeah, not bad for a first half for Greendale, being up 3 points. I think only a few missed assignments on defense is really holding them back from opening this game wide open. So they got to pick up their communication, definitely.
Yeah, I agree. There's definitely been some holes in that zone that they have been running. They've been switching off between man and zone, and they've gotten some success so far. But like you said, there have been some holes. There was a foul on the court by Nate Thompson. That is the second foul of the night. To the line for Eisenhower is number 11, Jack Sirik. He has 4 points tonight. First free throw attempt is good. Score is 34-32, Eisenhower. Now, like you said, Greendale has come into this game very strong, not desperately needing a win, but it would be a huge win for this team, and keeping it very close in the half. As some would say that New Berlin Eisenhower is arguably one of the best teams in the state, even though they're not the tallest team. But Greendale using that to their advantage and showing some definite post power so far, and showing some success with the three-point ball. Timeout on the court, and we will take one as well. Your score being 34-33 in favor of Greendale. Welcome back to Greendale basketball. We are right back into the action with Greendale with the ball. At the top, nice steal by number 34, Will Pachinski of Eisenhower. Now Eisenhower back down the court quickly. Slowing it up is Bryce Miller. And they're going to drain down the clock, looking for the last shot of the half. 20 seconds left to go in the half. Panthers up by 1. Miller dribbling out the ball. 12 seconds left to go. 10, Now the play has started. Nice, just open lane, but oh my gosh, Polizos just stuffed him. And the half-court shot is missed by number 4, Nate Thompson. And that is half. Score is 34-33. We will take another quick break. Thank you for listening to Greendale Basketball. Now we're back at halftime in Greendale, Wisconsin. The Greendale Panthers are facing the New Berlin Eisenhower Lions. Score is 34-33 in favor of the Panthers. Panthers coming into this game at 12-4, 8-3 conference record, and the New Berlin Eisenhower Lions with the fierce record of 16-1, 10-1 conference record. So far, very balanced game. The only thing that is being dominated, I would say right now, is the post, and that would be by Greendale. A little bit a nod for their height, so they're getting a little bit of the advantage out on the post. They're being able to find those one-on-one or open matchups and are able to dominate with nice, easy layups or nice little finesse moves down in the post. We've seen a couple of nice hook shots by Greendale, and just really commanding with their height. Now over in Eisenhower, their strength this game has been the defense. We mentioned it earlier that there were some holes, but they have been switching from man to zone, more so favoring the zone, and switching very effectively. Greendale's passing has been very effective and very clean, but Eisenhower has been on top of that. Has been able to shut them down for the most part, except they are allowing those post moves and passes and some drives down into the post. But for the most part, their defense has been their strong suit. Now, shooting-wise, no team has been absolutely great. We've had a couple of missed 3 points by Greendale, so that would be something you definitely need to look. And their Eisenhower is jumping the passes, their passes very effectively. So passing is another thing for Greendale. Eisenhower, on the other hand, really needs to look at attacking the post. The post is being completely covered. We already have a couple of block shots by Polizos, so they are definitely going to need to try to get it past him. We'll quick look at some of the top scorers for the visitors. New Berlin Eisenhower, 10 points for Sullivan Kulju. Steven Kraninger with 6. Jordan Kennedy with 7. Now look over to the Greendale Panthers. David Polizos with 13. Clay Kujawa with 10. And Nate Thompson with 6. I am Grant Coppersmith. I am joined by Erik Condia, and we are started with the second half. Greendale starts out with the ball. Nate Thompson driving in, back out top to Polizos, stolen by number 34, Will Paczynski. Now starting down is New Berlin. Jordan Kennedy driving in, having to sloppy pass out, but somehow gathered by Eisenhower. Kennedy back with the ball. Passes inside, and a nice inside score by number 22, Sullivan Kulju. That was something that I mentioned that needed to be worked on by Eisenhower, and they apparently listened to me and could hear me. And first points off of the half, nice little post move. Now Greendale back with the ball. Polizos out to Kujawa. Kujawa off to Zernick. Zernick at the top. Picked up his dribble, passes it off to Kujawa. Back out to Polizos with a 3-point, and made 3-point by Polizos.
Yeah.
His first points of the half.
Yeah, Grant, they're just picking apart that zone right now. Good high post action. Back to the outside on the 3-point line for Polizos to drain that 3.
Now Eisenhower with the ball. Down in the post, back out to the top. Fake pump. Now the shot by Kulju and misses. Rebound by Zernick. Thompson now dribbling down the court. Looking for the open man. Passes it to Zernick. Zernick to Kujawa. Kujawa over to Polizos. Hook is very short, just kissed the rim off the front. Now rebound to Eisenhower. Eisenhower driving down, back up top. No shot, even though he was wide open, but nice open post pass to number 34, Will Paczynski. Now he has 2.
And that was,
4 for the game.
Yeah, and that was a great drive by Kennedy Grant to open up that space to get that easy layup.
That was definitely a nice little move. I thought he was going to shoot or maybe even force a shot, but he found the open man. And nice little easy 2. 3-point shot missed by Polizos. Rebound, Greendale, and now put back by Clay Courgeois. His first points of the half. 39-37 Greendale with 15:31 remaining. Lions with the ball at the top. Looking for the open man. Running a play, a nice inside pass, but an over-the-back foul. On that shot was number 15, Stefan Kraninger. And that was a pretty, I'm actually a little surprised that wasn't a flagrant. He almost just blew him over, completely over the back.
Yeah, and that was a pretty brutal foul. And the story is, Grant, they've been beating, or New Berlin has been beating Greendale on a back screen all night to get a cutter to the post for an easy 2. And Greendale just keeps losing their man over and over. We'll see if they continue, hopefully, to adjust as they get a sub in there.
Yeah, even though they have not been, you said they have been getting those backdoor inside passes, which they have. There has been open lanes to the backdoor on those passes. But tonight in the post, they have not been successful in just trying to go over the top or straight in. So that is something that Greendale has been doing effectively, but you are right. Greendale has been leaving that back door open, and that is just what happened on that last play. Now Greendale with the ball. Polizos on the outside. Looks like there is a foul push on the play.
Foul's called on number 34, Will Paczynski.
That is Will Paczynski.
Yeah, just getting caught being a little bit too aggressive there.
Score is 39-39. 15:04 left in the game. Greendale now with the ball. Polizos with it. Looking for the open man. Driving in. Fouled, but in and out. That was very close, but a nice inside move. Polizos has been dominating the post all night, using his height to his advantage, being aggressive and physical.
You know, it's like that simple bread and butter move, Grant. Go, find your man in the post, back him in, and get that easy 2.
Free throw attempt missed by Polizos. He's also been utilizing that spin move a lot tonight. I've seen it a couple times, and I think that's actually the first time he's missed on it tonight. He is very effective. He's missed one hook shot tonight as well, but his hook has been nice. He's been nailing that. So he's been very effective in the post, and that's why he has been averaging 21.2 points a game.
Yeah, and you see him hit another free throw there.
Yeah, and also
he's almost at his average.
He's being a very effective shooter as well. So
yeah,
Polizos having a great game so far, being their go-to guy. Now Eisenhower with the ball at the top of the key, post pass inside, shot missed, and second shot is missed by Will Paczynski, but he gets fouled on the second one. David Polizos with the foul. Paczynski will now be heading to the line.
Yeah, Paczynski, he's doing most of the brunt work for New Berlin in the post tonight. You see him again, back him in, and he doesn't get the first one because they're so tall, but he gets the putback.
And it's funny saying that he's not so tall, and he's listed as 6'6".
Yeah,
but he doesn't look that.
He doesn't look that tall from here.
And just the way he has been dominated tonight on the post for the most part. But, you know, he's hold his own. He's not doing awful, but he's only put up so far 5 points on the night, and he's been letting in some key defensive passes. Now at the top, 3-point shot is good for Nate Thompson.
Yeah, you see Greendale responding to New Berlin's full court pressure there with some great ball movement.
Now, yes.
You know, and Nathan just hits that 3. That was a great job by Greendale.
Eisenhower now with the ball. Inside pass. Hook shot missed by Will Paczynski on the inside. Defense not giving up for Greendale. Polizos now driving in, met by 3 Lions. Shot and foul. The shot was by Vlado Zernick. went up and got destroyed by number 34, Will Paczynski.
And you see the adjustment New Berlin's trying to make, just trying to keep Polizos in check. 3 players went over to him, and that just gave an easy lane for number 10, Polchanek, to get to the lane and get fouled.
And it's actually number 10, Vlado Zernik.
Oh, thanks for the correction there, Grant.
Polchanek is on the other team. Yes,
that's right.
Okay. I've definitely
that's
done
my
that
misplay.
Before. I've definitely done that before. All right, Zernik misses his first free throw attempt, but yes, as you saw it, Polizos went over and was just driving in, and you saw him draw those 3 defensive players for Eisenhower, and that just left the nice, easy open lane for Zernik. Zernik drives down, gets fouled on the play, and gets some points out of it. 44-40 in favor of the Panthers. 4:15 left to go in the half. Eisenhower now with the ball. Eisenhower still sitting on top of the key with it.
Yeah, they're just looking in the post right now. We'll see if they get anything.
Yeah, trying to get the play to develop. Shot is up and is good by Sullivan Kulju. Nate Thompson now with the ball. Driving in, pass to Tanner Sebastian. First time I've called his name tonight for just subbing in. And nice little pass over, but completely covered. That was Michael Howell with the shot, but 3 Panther players, or 3 Lions covering him. That was a brutal foul on that play.
Yeah, that was Michael Howell. It was one of those unfortunate, like, ticky-tack fouls as you're running back on defense. The other player trips over your foot and picks one up. I mean, those can be scary for the offensive player, but you can see that Kennedy is okay right now. He's just walking himself off.
Yeah, he took a nice little hard fall to the floor there, sliding about 5 feet. Now we have Jordan Kennedy driving in. Found a nice open lane, but missed the shot, though. That is out on the Lions, and now Greendale ball. That was nice to see, though. We haven't really seen Kennedy go into the post like that a lot tonight, and he found a nice little open lane. Unfortunately missed the shot, but found a lot of open space down there on that Greendale defense. That has been pretty strong on the front end of things.
Yeah, you don't want to shy away from doing that because you want to try to get Polizos and Kujua in foul trouble.
And now Polizos just with a great move, found a nice lane on the inside and just powered his way up for the nice easy 2. Wow, then Greendale left a wide open lane on the inside. He found a huge gaping hole. I believe they were running in that zone. And he found a huge hole. Polizos or the other defender did not pull over, and they basically just gave him a free layup, but he missed it. Fortunately for them.
Yeah, and that was New Berlin. New Berlin consistently going to the rim. They will not stop, and I do not fault them. They're going to eventually make 1 or 2 of those, and it's going to close that gap, even though it's only 4 points. I can see them probably maybe even pulling ahead here.
Yeah, and that's great seeing that post play starting to come out, because in the first half, you didn't really see that all that much, even though you mentioned they were going back door. But they weren't really attacking as hard as we now have been seeing them in this half. They've made some great halftime adjustments for them, and if Greendale doesn't find an answer for them, they will definitely start having that momentum swing back in their favor. Yep. Now 46-42 is the score, 12:51 left in the game. Panthers are up. Now we're seeing that full court press. We have not been seeing much success come from that from Eisenhower. Greendale being able to combat that pretty effectively.
Yeah, and that's great credit to Greendale's big men being able to handle the ball in the full court.
Now Nate Thompson has been pushed back almost over and back. He was teetering that half-court line. Some great physicality by number 13, Bryce Miller. Polizos now at the 3-point line. Matthew Phelan at the top begging for the ball. Polizzo says no, goes in, misses it. Frustrated enough to waste time to punch the back wall, and then by using that time, Eisenhower comes down and puts up an easy basket. That is number 20, Jordan Kennedy.
Yeah, he just was 0 to 100 right there, taking him all the way back by himself, coast to coast.
Nate Thompson with the shot, misses the three-point. He has missed that a couple times tonight. Shot has not been completely on, even though he has made 2 tonight. I believe he's missed 3. Now nice inbound pass, a nice shot off the glass. That is by number 22, Sullivan Kulju.
Yeah, and you wonder, I believe that the reason that Greendale's coach is frustrated right now is you can see that they were ball watching on that last play, and I think it has to do with a lot of fatigue right now. We haven't seen Polizzo's come out. We haven't seen Kujwa come out. It's going to probably take a toll on them, especially now we're about 25 minutes into this game, and we'll see how long it's going to take to wear down those Greendale players.
Yeah, you can definitely see them start feeling the momentum going over to New Berlin Eisenhower side, and you can see the frustration from the Greendale coach. And you can see that playing into the fatigue factor too, because he called a minute timeout trying to get his players some time. Like Polizzo's, like you said, hasn't come out of the game at all, and now you're seeing him get frustrated, punching the back of the wall. You see him he's missed back-to-back shots now, 3 shots in a row actually, and then just getting beat and leaving the post open now. And New Berlin Eisenhower is taking clear advantage of that and exploiting their defense.
Yeah, definitely where fitness comes into play. Preseason, how much should you do to get yourself physically fit and get ready for these long, grueling games in February?
Now full court press is now starting to become a factor here, but Greendale being able to fight it off. Now a nice wide open layup by Vlado Zernick. And I believe that was more so Eisenhower just not getting back in the full court press in time, and Greendale spreading the floor.
Yeah, they exploited the weakness of the defense right in the middle with Kujwa.
Now a nice pass into the inside post. That's Sullivan Kulju with a nice layup. And ball that was played very nicely by number 13, Bryce Miller, as it was going to be out on Eisenhower. He came back, slung the ball, hit a Greendale player, and then went out of bounds. The ball is now in favor of Eisenhower.
Yeah, and you can see the frustration in Nathan Thompson's face as the ball goes off his leg. He's like still boxing him out, or excuse me, still boxing the Eisenhower player out, and you just can't catch a break right there.
48-48 the score, 10:55 left to go in the half. Now a huge block by number 11, Zach Harrison. He just came out of nowhere and batted that ball out of the backcourt. And the Eisenhower player was still working on Polizzo, was trying to get in, put up the contested layup, and just got absolutely stuck. Now another block, and that one's by Clay Kujwa. Wow, the defensive prowess is fierce on the Greendale side. They're not giving up without a fight. Greendale with a fast break now. Out to the post. Thompson with the shot. 3-point shot. In and out. Just barely bouncing out. Eisenhower now slowing it down. At the top of the key, Jordan Kennedy. Running a play. Passes it over to Kulju. Kulju passing it to Zierich. Kennedy with the 3-point shot. It is no good. Rebound, however, goes to Eisenhower. That is Kulju. Passes it over to Kennedy. Kennedy at the top of the key. Passes it nice. Inside pass to the key. Matthew Rolfson puts it up. And now Eisenhower with their first lead of the game. 50-48 in favor of Eisenhower. Greendale with the ball now. Thompson at the top of the key. Tries to muscle his way in. A long 2-point attempt is missed. Rebound goes to Eisenhower. Eisenhower fans are furious. They thought that was a charge on Thompson, but it is stolen now on the other side of the floor by Greendale. Thompson drives to the other side of the floor and puts up a nice layup. Score is now 50-50. 9:26 left to go in the half.
Yeah, you can see the patience by Eisenhower on offense of that last possession. They couldn't get anything going. Kennedy puts up a shot. New Berlin gets the rebound, and they're patient again. They find the open man in the post, and they get an easy 2.
You can see Greendale. You could have felt the pressure now going, or the momentum going to Eisenhower, but then Greendale starting to fight back. So it is right now anybody's game. Very close game, tied at 50. 3-point attempt is good. I believe that was number 15, Stephen Kraninger, and was fouled on the play. So a chance for a 4-point play for Eisenhower.
Yeah, it's another case of somebody not covering the open man. And Kraninger was just open in the corner, and that's an easy foul to call for the officials.
It was Polizos on that foul. Kraninger now heading to the line to shoot his free throw. Trying to complete the 4-point play. And is good. Score is now 54-50, and that was a huge play for Eisenhower.
Absolutely.
In this close game, now going up 2 possessions. Full court press, gets it off. He was in a corner. Now Thompson over to a wide open Zach Harrison, putting his first points up for the game. Score is now 52-54 in favor of the Lions.
And Greendale's been able to break that press. We'll see if New Berlin goes back to their typical just man-man half-court defense.
But they are starting to put some more pressure. You can start to see Greendale scrambling a little more, so that might have fatigue might be playing into a factor with there. Eisenhower now driving in. That was Stephen Kraninger. Now wide open again is Zach Harrison in the post. Now it now brought the score back to 54, and you can't help but think that was a blown advantage by Eisenhower, leaving 2 wide open post shots for Harrison, and that was because they were too busy getting caught up in the full court press.
And Grant, you said it, fatigue coming into play. Anybody's game right now because whoever is tired.
And looks like there was a foul on that. I mean, I'm just going to say I disagree with that a little bit. There was a pump fake. He goes up to jump for it, but he didn't really commit on that pump fake. It was a really bad time to commit on that pump fake for the Greendale player, but he didn't really, the Eisenhower player didn't really try to shoot that hard or sell the pump fake, and he just started going. And little contact, I mean, not supposed to have contact, but I disagree with that foul a little bit.
Yeah, and we'll see. It looks like Greendale's going to almost like a matchup zone with Polizos and Kujwa down low.
Now we have Matthew Rolfson. A little bit of a height disadvantage matched up at the post, and now they switch. Oh, it almost got beat. Greendale almost got beat on that backdoor pass again, where Eisenhower has been so successful.
Yeah.
But Zach Harrison, who has been huge now in these last couple minutes, batting the ball out of the hand of the Eisenhower player and forcing the play to restart.
Yeah, definitely big difference from Harrison in the second half. He's getting to that play, and he's causing the disruption.
Eisenhower now with the ball. Roll. Shot and one. That is number 23, Matthew Rolfson, and foul on David Polizos. He has now 3.
And we'll see if the coach for Greendale actually goes ahead and subs Polizos out, give him a breather with 3 fouls and 7:30 to go. Looks like the
free throw is good by Matthew Rolfson. David Polizos with the ball. Passes it over to Thompson. Thompson circling back around. Over to Harrison. Harrison inside pass. Back out to Michael Howell. Back to Harrison. Harrison at the top, driving in. Passes it out to Kujwa. Now back to Polizos. Polizos at the top. Looking. Passes it to Harrison. Greendale not being able to find a hole at all in this Eisenhower defense. Now they found one. Polizos, nice little floater and in.
And that was just a case of Greendale being very patient, eventually getting Polizos down low where he's been the most successful tonight. Gets that easy too.
Score is 56-57 in favor of the Lions. 6:32 left to go. Shot is up and no good for Jack Sirik. Greendale coming back down. Polizos now driving in. Back up to Thompson. Now over to Harrison. Passes over to Howell. Howell drives in, is fouled with the shot. The shot is no good. Gets knocked to the floor. That foul is on number 15, Stephen Kraninger. Excuse me.
Yeah, well, credit Howell. He finds himself underneath the hoop on the left-hand side, and he does a nice little pump fake and goes up and under and draws the foul.
Howell misses the first one.
Back to line 722.
Shows a little look of frustration.
Yeah, he got hit hard on that play. We'll see if he can pull his composure back and make the second one.
Howell for the second free throw. And that is good. Score is now 57-57 with 6:14 left in the game. Eisenhower with the ball. Looking on the outside to Kennedy. Inside now to Kulju. Kulju at the free throw line, trying to work his way in. Trying to back Polizos off. Doesn't really work, but he gets the bucket to go anyway. Greendale now. And that was an ill-advised pass by Polizos. Wide open layup there. And that was another ill-advised pass, but that one was on Michael Howell. Matthew Rolfson was with that last layup.
Again, you can see the look of fatigue on Greendale's face. We'll see if they can pull themselves back together and get this stop.
Yeah, Eisenhower now with the 4-point lead. Timeout Eisenhower. And with that timeout, we are going to take one as well. 5:18 left to go in the half. 61-57 in favor of the Lions. Welcome back to Greendale, Wisconsin. And we're getting back into the action. Foul, I believe, on Michael Howell. No, they're just restarting the play. And now Eisenhower taking it up the court. Jordan Kennedy passes it over to Matthew Rolfson. Rolfson down to Kennedy. Kennedy working on Polizos with the shot is no good and gets the rebound, but Greendale intercepts the pass. And now Thompson taking it up the court. Looks like Eisenhower is slipping out of that full court press since it has burned them now a couple times. Polizos with the ball. Down to Thompson. Kind of got stuck, passed it back out. Pass goes to number 22, Matthew Thalen. Polizos now with the ball at the top. Vlado Zernick. Or excuse me, that was Clay Kujawa. And now a missed shot by Clay. And Eisenhower now has the ball. Jordan Kennedy now coming up. 4:20 left to go in the game. Eisenhower by 4, 61-57. Kennedy up at the top of the key. Passes it over to Rolfson. Rolfson passes it to number 22, Sullivan Kulju.
You can just see New Berlin taking their time.
Yeah, trying to bleed out that clock as much as possible with no shot clock. They have the ability to. Foul on the play.
Grant, I also was going to mention that you can see there Greendale's just leaving Polizos and Kujawa down underneath the basket, and they're switching every single screen that comes their way. We'll see if New Berlin just bites and starts shooting threes.
Jack Sirik with the free throw attempt that was missed. Matthew Thalen with the foul. Greendale now with the ball. Tries to find Polizos, but that's way over his head. Coach for Greendale is Ryan Johnson, and he was furious with that play. An ill-advised pass, and he is showing his frustrations, leading almost the entire game and now giving it up within the last 7 minutes, and now up by 4 and starting to slowly lose momentum.
Yeah, and this is where your big three need to step up, especially for Greendale, just in making decision-making skills with the game on the line.
Eisenhower with the ball. Foul on number 0, Clay Kujawa. He was getting a little bit too grabby. Now going to the line is Matthew Rolfson, being in the bonus 1-1. And that is missed. Rebound by Michael Howell. Plezos now dribbling down the court, passes it to Thompson. Thompson over the half-court line. Passes it to Vlado Zernik. Back to Thompson. Trying to find somebody. Still looking for a player. There's miscommunication. Plezos tries to call a timeout, doesn't work, and now a 6-point lead for the Lions, and a terrible pass. Number 22, Sullivan Kulju with that last basket, and there was just an awful inbounds pass. I don't even know what happened there. It looked like he went to go pass it, and then the Greendale player just ran out of the way of the ball, and the Eisenhower player was just, thank you, I'll take this.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like you can see, again, the story of the game right now, fatigue coming into play for Greendale, and their decision-making has not been clutch right now. You can see the lackadaisical passes across the court, and you can see that they're not really trying to space the floor out that well, and their ball movement's kind of becoming stagnant. And we'll see if the coach can kind of pull them back, rein it back in, and say, hey, guys, we still got this. We're still going to be in this. We just need to calm down, refocus ourselves, and make smarter decisions.
Yeah, you can definitely see the decision-making hasn't been great the whole game. Some early turnovers in the first half, but then definitely as we're getting to the second half, some blatant, easy turnovers. That last one was basically a pass to the opposing team because there was nobody there. I don't even know. I can't even explain that. But Greendale definitely has some time, but they are running out with only 2:43 left in the game and being down by 6.
Well, and credit to New Berlin, too, Grant. They've been staying consistent this entire game with their pressure and with their intensity on the defensive end.
Sullivan Kulju with the free throw attempt. The first one is good. He has been on fire tonight. He so far has 10 points in the first half, and now 12 points in the second half with completing that second free throw attempt. 65-57 the score now. Greendale needing a basket desperately here. Have not scored in a while. Passes over to Plezos. He has been quiet as of late. An open three-point attempt is no good for Kujwa, but a foul is called on Eisenhower, I believe. That is number 15, Stephen Kraniger.
And you can hear the Eisenhower fans not loving it. Michael Howell did actually a very great job boxing out on that possession.
Plezos now with the ball at the top, looking for Thompson, but he's double covered, leaving Kujwa wide open, but did not find him. Kujwa now at the top of the key. Passes it over to Howell. Howell trying to find Plezos, but he is covered. Floats it over to find Plezos.
They're doubling up on the post right now. They're not going to give anything easy down low.
Yep, they're going to need to find that open shot. They have to do something quick. Down by 8, they're wasting their time with only 1:50 to go. Plezos airing it out, but not finding anything as you hear the chant of air ball from the crowd.
And that's just not, I mean, you got to really credit Eisenhower. They're playing really tough defense right now.
Yeah, they were playing clutch late in this game. Even when fatigue is becoming a factor, they have really clutched up, trailing the entire game, and being able to withstand with that defense. And like you said, doubling up in the post, not letting anything easy, not letting Greendale to just get their chippy shot their way in this game. They're going to have to work for it. And now Plezos with a foul. That gives him his 4th.
Yeah, he's not coming out of this game. We'll see what Greendale decides to run coming back down the floor as they are now down.
Kulju with the first free throw, and now that brings, I'll just finish your statement. That brings Greendale down by 9, and now 10.
Thanks, Grant.
Yeah, you're welcome. I was just waiting for you to finish.
I paused for a second. You're right. You're right.
Waiting for you to finish. Now 10. They're down by 10. And that's just a big turnaround by Greendale. It's actually really disappointing. They've been ahead, even though very slightly, but they have been ahead this entire game, and now with a 10-point deficit with only a minute 12 left to go in the game. Pulizos, with the ball. Now finally some points by Clay Kujawa for Greendale. They are now down by 8. Need to start maybe thinking about, do you start thinking about fouling now, or do you just, it's down by 8, it's just a little too much?
No, we see Greendale playing really aggressive defense. It doesn't look like they're going to foul and just going to let this one maybe tick out. Oh, now the coach is signaling for the foul.
They burned a lot of clock trying to decide what they were going to do with that. Zach Harrison with his first foul of the game, but they burned about 15 seconds that they could have used by trying to double up. They were getting some work done, but they were wasting out clock, especially with no shot clock being in basketball. It definitely plays a factor here now that you just burned 15 seconds. Now something to take a note on. Michael Howell looked like he took a shot to the face. No call on the play, but now he is off, and it looks like he is now bleeding. So some very aggressive play now, and you got to feel for Greendale. They played hard this entire game and playing an excellent team in New Berlin Eisenhower, and now just came up short in the last 7 minutes of the game.
Yeah, you know what, Graham? You know the classic saying, it's not over till the fat lady sings. So we'll see if Greendale can maybe make a couple, I would say, lucky threes.
Clutch. I would say clutch.
Okay, clutch threes.
Because it takes skill to hit a three-pointer.
It does. So clutch threes, and we'll see if they can get themselves back within maybe within striking distance. But the way Kennedy just actually drained those 2 free throws doesn't look that way.
Quick shot by Thompson, no good. The rebound, Eisenhower. And now it's really not looking good for Greendale. Not fouling at all, leaving wide open Eisenhower players everywhere. Definitely trying to get them to foul. Now it looks like they gave up, and they're going to take the loss. Great game played by both teams. Unfortunate play by Greendale coming in. Greendale coach begging his players to get back up onto the court to get his players to stay in the game. Great game played by both teams. Eisenhower will move to 17-1, 11-1 in conference. Greendale will fall to 12-5, 8-4 on conference. We will be right back with your post-game results. Welcome back to boys high school basketball in Greendale, Wisconsin at Greendale High School, where the Greendale Panthers faced against the New Berlin Eisenhower Lions. Eisenhower came out on top 69-59, moving up in the conference, their record being 10-1, and they are still on top of that conference in first place. The Greendale Panthers dropping down to 8-4, 12-5 overall in conference play. And looking at the overall conference, so there's New Berlin Eisenhower in first place. Pewaukee losing tonight, dropping to 14-3 in conference in second place, leaving the door open now for Greendale with now an unfortunate loss tonight that they can't capitalize on that Pewaukee loss. With only a couple weeks left to go in the season, Greendale is really going to wish they had the last 7 minutes of this game back. And now Pius getting the win against Pewaukee tonight, moving up to 8-7 in conference play. Tosa West 9-7 in conference, or 5-6 in conference. Excuse me. I've been reading the overall. So 10-1 for New Berlin Eisenhower, or 11-1 in New Berlin Eisenhower. Pewaukee moving to 9-3, and Greendale moving to 8-4. So that is going to be something that you need to keep an eye on now, so Greendale can still move up. Unfortunately, could not do that tonight, and not being able to tie Pewaukee. Pius now at 7-5, so only a game behind Greendale. Tosa West at 5-6, and New Berlin West at 2-9. I am joined by Erik Condia And Eric, what are some things that you noticed that went good for both sides, went bad for both sides, some hot players? Just give me some of that.
First off, Grant, I want to start off with, looking at this matchup on paper tonight, I was immediately thinking that Greendale was going to have success on the boards just based on their height. So I can definitely put that in the positive column for Greendale coming into the game. And you just look at over the rosters, and you see that possibly that's going to be a factor. But some of the keys for Eisenhower tonight, you see that their hustle and consistency with their pressure just eventually overtook Greendale as the game progressed, and they eventually just wore them down. So a negative aspect for Greendale would have been their fatigue tonight, because they just kind of got run over at the end with that constant pressure that the Lions were putting on.
Yeah, and you can definitely tell, like we were saying, about the last 7 minutes of the game when it started turning sour for Greendale. And so you can point that to that fatigue that they started having. You saw mistakes. You saw poor passing. You saw some just lousy getting back up the court, even though Eisenhower was putting on some hard pressure at the full court press. But when they weren't, they were really slow on pulling it back. Their shots started getting shorter. Their shots started falling really, really short, with a few made shots in the very clutch part of the game.
Yeah, and I would love to see the stat line for how many second chance points that Eisenhower got. I know that's not one of those stats that you want to keep, or that you keep track of at a high school basketball game, but I would imagine that that had a major factor in Eisenhower's victory, basically because they were going aggressively to the boards. They weren't giving anything for free, they were not taking anything for granted. They weren't taking any shot for free. Everybody was crashing. Everybody was getting to the glass, and you can see that those second chance points did probably play a factor. Also, I would probably give a game ball out. My game ball of the game, I would probably give it out to Jordan Kennedy. Just his second half play and kind of rallying the Eisenhower players, other Eisenhower players around him, and leading that second half charge, going to the rim really, really hard, especially against the height of Polizos, the height of Kujwa. I mean, some players would probably look at it and be extremely intimidated, but you can see Kennedy handled that with just extreme composure and poise.
And you're bringing up Polizos, which I like, because I can transition into the fact that even though Polizos was really aggressive and had a fantastic game, posting 21 points tonight and standing pretty high up in the post, you saw a couple times tonight where he got beat back door. You saw it a lot the first half, a couple times in the beginning of the second half. Then they kind of closed down on that. But you saw him getting beat a lot, just standing up, arms up, and them just floating balls over him or getting around him. And so defensively, I saw Polizzo struggling a bit tonight, and when his team needed him the most, he really cooled down at the end like a lot of his teammates did. So that I would say that Polizzo's was a really big factor. I'm not saying that one player's play is going to affect the entire team and lost him the game, because it's a team game, but he went down with his team, and he really did not put up the type of play in the last part of the second half compared to what he did the whole game. Yeah, and you want to. It's one of those. This is one of those matchups that you want to see again and see how it pans out, because I believe that Greendale's going to go back and look over the film, and they're going to adjust, especially for next week, and say, hey, those backdoor screens, like you mentioned, we're going to go ahead and work on them, because that was probably one of the biggest glaring weaknesses that we both saw tonight, right? With their defensive effort, and also probably work on breaking the press and getting the ball past half court, because it seemed like they handled it somewhat well. When they got the ball into the middle of the court, and then everything else there, Eisenhower's forcing Polizos, forcing Kujwa to the outside, just because the bigger guys generally have struggles with keeping the ball low below their knees, and keeping control of the ball. Now, we have been talking pretty negatively so far about Greendale, even though they posted a pretty close game, even the score that might suggest it being them losing by 10 points. But what are some good things that Greendale did? Because they're not a bad team. They came in with a pretty good record. They still have a pretty good record. They were winning pretty much the entire game against one of the best teams in the state. And so there has to be some good things that they did to get at this point in the game.
Yeah, Grant, absolutely. I would mention that Greendale throughout the game definitely used that height advantage and definitely used that. They got most of their points going hard into the paint and getting those close-in shots, which are high percentage shots that you want to get every single night. Because once you start relying on those three-pointers, then you start to go down, and it's just like the momentum kind of shifts, especially if those aren't falling.
Well, and exactly that's what happened at the end of the game. They started getting inside penetration. You saw it, however, a little bit with Michael Howell and Zach Harrison at the end of the game. They started doing that about 10, 11 minutes, but then when it started falling apart, they weren't getting any of those high percentage shots that you mentioned, and they started forcing that long two-pointer that Nate Thompson had, a couple three-pointers that didn't fall through, and they were getting tired. So their shots were falling very short. You had Polizos with that missed three-pointer, so their shooting wasn't spot on. So at the beginning of the game, they were getting so much success because they were getting those high percentage shots like you were talking about. They were getting nice inside pressure. You had Polizos charging in, using a lot of post moves, getting some spins in, getting some hook shots to fall. But then, like what you were saying, is that they went away from that, and they relied on that shooting game, and it ended up hurting them at the end.
Yeah, and to end this off positively, I can't fault either team. We both saw it, the effort that was there. Both teams were extremely, extremely gifted teams, and they both had their strengths, both had their weaknesses, and we saw that the effort, it didn't stray from either team, even especially at the end, where Greendale was down. They were still consistently fighting to try to get themselves back in the game.
And just to finish off, we'll give you some point totals, and I do want to point out Sullivan Kulju. He had 24 points tonight. He only averages 12.4 points a game. So he doubled his points per average. So in this one game. So the Lions, that's great to see somebody who does. And looking at the top scores per game you have for the Lions, you have Stefan Kraniger with 14.1, Jack Sirik with 12.9, Sullivan Kulju with 12.4, and Jordan Kennedy 12.2. That was coming into tonight. Then you look over at the other side, you have David Polizos with 21.2, Nate Thompson with 17.2, stuff like that. So you see that the Lions kind of spread it out, and it didn't really happen that way tonight. You saw Kulju really stepping up and getting the majority of points for his team tonight. So he really did a great job. But like you said also, who got your game ball, Jordan Kennedy really turned it up. And as the point guard of this team, you saw him took control a lot in most of the plays, so you can just call him a point guard. He really took control of the game in the second half, really turned it around after getting that tactical in the first half at the very beginning of the game. He finished with 11. Stefan Kraniger, also, you didn't see him a lot scoring and be flashy, but you saw him playing that hard blue-collar game. He finished off with 12 points. And then you have Matthew Rolfson with 9. Then looking over to Greendale, David Polizos finished with 21. He had a great game. Clay Kujwa with 14 and Nate Thompson with 11. And those are just the top point scores for tonight. Eric, do you have anything to close us off with? Any closing comments? Anything that you think that could have gone better? Not anything like that?
Not really. I think we hit all those points, and I think you mentioned it the best. And the story, one of the stories of the game too, as well, was that Eisenhower, extremely balanced team. They rely on each other, and that's how we get it done. That's how they get it done, night after night after night, and that's what it reflects. It reflects in their record. It reflects just both in their team atmosphere too.
We'd like to thank you all for listening. The final score being 69-59 in favor of New Berlin Eisenhower. I am Grant Coppersmith. He's Erik Condia. Have a great night.